Hello internet, and today's video is going to be another book opinion, those videos in which I tell you my opinion on a book, and today's book is going to be Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. This is the second in a series about portal fantasies. So in this series we get to learn a little bit more about characters that were introduced in the first book, Every Hearted Doorway. So we're gonna look into the lives of Jack and Jill, the world that they lived in, and how they came to be the weirdos that they are. And I say that lovingly for Jack. Not quite sure about my feelings on Jillian. I begrudgingly accept her, but that's about all. So this book, I think, is far more successful and far more fun to read than Every Hearted Doorway. But as I explained in that video, I think that's the simple fact of it's a lot more interesting to hear about the portal world, to go and see the portal world, see how it works, how it functions, what it's like to live there, than it is just to hear people mourning the fact that they can't go back. While I do love the first book, and I thought that getting that feeling in the reader of the sadness you feel that you're not actually getting to see the portal world served its purposes, I'm rather glad that this series will be continuing with me seeing into these different portal worlds and seeing the type of people that fit in to each portal world, because there is a different portal for everyone. So in here we figure out the stories of Jack and Jill. In this book we get to hear the backstory of Jack and Jill, how they came to find their own portal before they went to the wayward home of portal outcasts. And here it is a very interesting story on how your home environment can really affect you, how parents should only have children if they truly want children and not props, and how being treated certain ways as a child, having certain gender norms, having certain ideas pushed upon you can really affect your psyche as a kid. We then get to see them in their portal world in this sort of gothic Victorian sort of Frankenstein-ish type world where there are two separate sort of rulers. One is a vampire and the other is a Frankenstein-ish doctor, and these two girls are separated and each becomes a sort of apprentice under these two components, these two rulers of this portal world. And we get to really see what it is like in portal worlds and how every portal world is built for this particular person or persons. Jack and Jill are very, very different people. However, they seem to find a world that was perfect for both of them. What I really liked about this story was seeing how these two had the very similar environment of having pretty terrible parents, but how this similar environment affected them differently, how one became aware of how horrible their environment originally was and how it kind of affected her, while the other was not fully comprehending that, and how you can see two children who grew up in a similar environment under similar pressures turned out to be vastly different people. So that was a very, very nice study, because I've always thought that was interesting, especially when it comes to these two being twins and looking very similar, being identical twins, how vastly different they were, even though they kind of had a similar childhood, both being under the stress of their parents, both suffering at the hands of their parents. And it was very interesting. And I would also like to mention that their parents can go die in a bloody hole because their parents are the most horrendous people I've ever had the displeasure of meeting. Well, there's not much more I can say about this book because it was so short. I do think it is a very, very fantastic read. I do suggest that you guys, if you like portal world fantasies, pick up this series. You will not regret it. They're very short reads, they're very, very fun, and it's very interesting to see all these different realms of possibilities. And I really do like this idea that every person has a world out there for them that is the perfect home for them. So it's very, very fun to read these, and I cannot wait for this to be like an 18-book series. I don't say that a lot because I am of the opinion that you should only write what there is to write. If your story takes 18 books to write, I'm there for it. But if you only need 2 books and you want to try to write 5, I don't care. I don't want any part of it. So this is one of those series I could potentially see going up to 18 books, and every book being just as good as the last, if not better. They're just also entertaining, so I cannot wait to see more, because portal fantasies are just so much fun. Like, they're very interesting. It's nice to see the displacement of someone, from seeing someone who's used to this sort of world norms to be picked up and put into a different world where they have to learn all these new laws, and it's just so much fun. So comment down below if you like portal fantasies. I want to know, is that something you're interested in as well? And click all those bunnies if you like what you're seeing here and you want to continue to see more. Goodbye, internet.